Good morning, everybody. My name is Samantha Mirabal with Melco's application team, and we're doing our DesignShop Talk today to see what questions you might have and see how we can help with those. I'm going to check and make sure both platforms are up working. And if both Facebook and YouTube are up, there's Facebook and there's YouTube. So I think we're good to go. Awesome. All right. So I'll start off with the questions that were sent in ahead of time. If you have questions while we're live, please type them in on the comments, and I'll periodically look off to the side. If you see me looking over, I've got a second monitor set up over here so I can kind of try to keep track of questions as they come in. All right, don't send them privately. I don't see those. Just send type them in on the comments on the live. All right, so I'll start off with the ones that were sent in ahead of time. Is there an easy way to cut jump stitches on a bought design? I have a bunch of designs to edit. There's a few things you can try. Okay, so one is check your design filter. So over here, make sure this is turned on, accumulate short stitches. And then after you turn that on, close the design and reopen it. Good morning, Georgia. So that may get rid of a bunch of them. Okay, so the stitch filter might help it. Okay, that's one. And a lot of times that'll clean up most of them. Whatever's left after that, you're going to have to modify, right? So for instance, I saved off this guy as an EXP, and you'll see there's one of those jump stitches. All right, so to get rid of it, I'm going to have to find it and remove it. All right, so really all I'm doing here is looking for that element. So it's this element here. All right, and I'm going to come over here and say expanded editing mode. Normally what I do is I add a point and do something obnoxious like that to make sure I have it. And then right here, put insert trim. All right, so what did that do? If I put the trim between it, you'll see it put a trim there. So now I just have that one stitch to delete and then it's gone. So again, select that, go to this guy, expanded editing mode, select the point and hit delete. Okay, so that got rid of it for me. All right, and I thought there was another one in this design. I don't think so. Is there one over here maybe? Let's see. I think there was just that one. Yeah, there's just that one. Oh no, there's one. Okay, so again, I gotta find the element. So it's in this color. Not that guy. So it's this last one. All right, so again, I'm gonna select the element, click on the expanded editing mode, add a point, insert a trim. I can then take those points, that extra point that's on there that I just added, go to my expanded editing mode, click on that guy and hit delete. All right, same with this guy. I'm going to select it, add a point. And like I said, I often make it obnoxious so I don't have to look for it. Drag the trim up, come over to this guy, click on the stitch, delete. There you go. All right, so now I can turn on my eyeballs so the whole design is back. And there you go. Okay, so it's the design filter will most likely, if that's not turned on, go ahead and turn that on and try it. Again, it works upon opening the file. All right, so that's when it's going to do that. So close the file, reopen it, and that should get rid of a lot of those jump stitches for you. Okay, so let's see, what other questions do we have? Can you tell me how to get 2 pieces of fleece from moving while sewing? I'm not quite sure what you're getting at here. Are you like making a stuff, if you're talking about on a sewing machine, pins. If you're talking about on the embroidery machine, what are we doing? I mean, if you hoop them together, then they're not going to move. You can always use a 505 to stick it together, and that will stop the shifting. If you don't want sticky stuff on there, then it's a matter of hooping it well. So I guess I need a little bit more info to help of what you're trying to do to give you a better recommendation. Okay. How do you get OS to move to first stitch? I chose first stitch rather than center of design. I've restarted. You hit start. So if you hit the green button, it will move to the first stitch. So I'm not, how it's, when you load a design, unless you move the cursor, where the needle is going to be the center of the hoop, right? So hitting start, it'll move over to that. So if, what are you trying to get? What are you trying to make it do so I can help you? That's another one. But yeah, hitting start will make it move. You can also go to tools, tools settings. Yeah, tools setting, tools options, tools settings. Let's see, do I have a screenshot in here? Of course I don't. All right, tools, it's in the OS, there's a move. Tools settings move, I believe. I don't have a screenshot of it. And when you click on the move button, you can tell it to go to stitch 1 and say move to stitch, and it will move to that stitch. Okay. Yeah. I'm attempting to create a big letter in the background with text on top. All right, so you're doing a big, let's just say you're doing a big flat embroidery and you want to sew a name. All right, and you want to delete excessive stitches. Cool. So let's do that. Where's Design Shop? There it is. Hi, Blanca. And Lorena. Thanks for joining, guys. All right, so let's see. So I drew a rectangle and put the word subtract on it. If you haven't drawn a quick rectangle, right here, you say the complex fill. You click on the rectangle thingy or square thingy here. Left click, drag, makes you a rectangle. So left click is what I did. Text, again, if you've not made text, it's pretty simple. Click on the text, click the color you want it. SUBTRACT, subtract. And I'll show you, if you've never used the alignment tools, let's say I want that perfectly centered. I've got to select both objects, so I can either draw, left click and drag, completely encasing the items, and that will select them both. Or click on one, hold the control key, click the other, and then center and center. These two buttons here will center them relative to each other. Okay, now that you have that, how do we subtract? Well, to subtract, you select what you want to take the stitches out of first. Okay, so I would take this fill, because that's what I want to delete stuff from. And then I'm going to go click on subtract. Notice I got this neat toolbar that pops up now. Okay, so that's combine elements. This is subtract. Before clicking on the subtract, right click on that, on the subtract icon, because this is going to set how much overlap. But so do you want it line to line? If you're sewing lettering on fill, you probably don't, because it's going to leave gaps, right? You want some amount of overlap. So you've got to set that number here. 5 to 10 points. I think 7 is what a lot of people use. I tend to err on the side of more overlap than necessary. That's just my personal preference. So I have it set to 10. Say OK. So now that you've done that, you can click on the subtract button. And now if I turn off the lettering, notice I've got all those stitches deleted. So it's that simple. It's very easy to do. All right, so we have a question typed in. Do you have a go-to cutaway stabilizer that you use in general? Or do I keep a bunch? So my go-to stabilizer, far and away, is the cutaway, right? A 3.1 ounce, super hefty cutaway by Madeira makes it. I love that stuff. I use it for pretty much anything and everything I can use it for, I do. It's my go-to. So if I'm guessing at what to use, I'll grab that. For performance wear, I do use a no-show mesh or the Cut Performance. I still have a ton of the no-show mesh, so I'm going to use that until I get rid of it. When I get rid of it, I'll probably switch over to the Cut Performance. It's just a newer material. So, but I mean, they both are great. I do suggest keeping a tearaway on hand. mainly because when you're doing towels or other things like that, or there's some applications where you just don't want stabilizer on the back. So that's always helpful. And then I use plastic for patches. So I keep a 6 mil plastic on hand. You can also use a 12 gauge vinyl that you find at Joann's or anything, a place like that. You can buy them online too. So those are my go-tos. And I think I've bought some of everything. So I've got that, but I don't use some of everything anymore. It's stuck in a box in the corner. Not in this room, but in another room. All right. Well, let's see. What other questions do we have? All right. Yeah, no problem. All right. So let's see. We talked about that one. Oh, can we make a drop shadow like this? Yeah, we can do drop shadows. And you can manually digitize it. You can do it within the tool super quick. All right, so let's go do it in the tool super quick, just to show you. So this is basic lettering, just basic block. I'm gonna zoom in on it. So the drop shadow is pretty easy. I click on custom, go object, shadow. I usually just say okay. All right, and then look at what it has. So if I want, let's say I don't want it on that side, I want it on the other side. Well, I deselect it, click on the text, and drag the text. And notice it will regenerate that drop shadow however I want. Now, if you know the numbers, you can just type it in and it will do it the first time. I'm a visual person, so I tend to just drag things around until I'm happy. But there you go. I've got a drop shadow done super fast. All right. So yeah, it's quite easy to do actually. All right, where are my questions? This one, is it the same design? Because that doesn't make any sense to me. I've got both of them running here and I run them all and it runs fine. So if you can send over the design or designs over to applications at Melco and let us take a look at them and a picture maybe of what it's doing so that we can see the difference. That would help kind of narrow down what's going on. Okay. Because I don't understand why it would do that anyway. I mean, unless you're running your act feed too high, I guess maybe that might do it. Maybe. I don't know. If you can send some pictures, that'll help us. Help me help you. How about that? How to embroider sleeves. Okay. Sleeves. If you're talking about like men's shirts down on the cuff, things like that, or a shirt, I mean, you can do it in a bunch of ways. It depends on the material. My t-shirt here is stretchy, so using a clamp is probably not ideal, but I could do it. I would want to take a cutaway, not something else, something stable. So a nice cutaway stabilizer like that 3.1 I discussed earlier. And I would most likely, with a material like this, which is stretchy, I'd use a 505. You know, spritz the stabilizer, stick it to the shirt, and then use like a fast clamp or mighty hoop or something like that. You can even use the round hoops that come with the machine. If you can get the design, you know, have the arm partially hooped. So, you know, the circle will go across there. Oh, you guys can't even see my shoulder. So if I have the circle like there, so it'd be halfway hooped on there. So that's what the 505 would be for. And then I would just do laser alignment to get it straight up with the edge and not worry about hooping straight. I adore laser alignment, so I just default to it because it's easy. But I mean, you can always hoop straight. That works too. But yeah, it's just hoop it and go. Now, if doing it, you'll want to load it onto the machine. It's just a matter of making sure you have a hoop that's the right size. There are other really bizarre techniques you can use, and I say bizarre on purpose because, all right, I'll give you one example. I had some baby onesies, or not onesies, but baby shoes that I needed to embroider on the tongue of it. Okay, Those things are tiny. You can't get it on a hoop. If I put it on top of the hoop, it interfered with the arm. It just was a mess. So I took a mighty hoop, hooped it, cut a hole, and pinned the shoe underneath the stabilizer, and was able to deal with it that way. Now, not really the best way to do it, but got the job done. So it's about being creative. You know, you got to work with the hoops you have, right? So I didn't have a hoop small enough to deal with that thing. All right. What other questions do you have? Let me quick look. See, I think those were all the questions I had ahead of time. So, oh, there was another one that I didn't put on here. They asked about doing chenille. So there is an article on the FAQ site of how to do chenille. Now that does use Burmilana thread. The faux chenille that was referenced was one that actually doesn't use Burmilana thread. It's kind of like a stippling almost. It uses thread direction to bounce the light off of it to create a look like chenille. That's not really chenille. So it's a regular embroidery. And it just I literally call it scribbling. It's like scribbling the stitches all over. So when light hits it, it makes it look like it's chenille. So that's what that technique is. And you can do it over puff, which gives it kind of some loft to it. A little bit anyway. You're embroidering the daylights out of it, so it's going to compress it more than a normal puff design, but it still would look more like a chenille. So another question typed in was, oops, I just lost my questions. There they are. The audio keeps cutting out. Audio looks good here, so let me know if anyone else is having that issue. Do I keep white and black stabilizers in inventory? Yes, I do. I will say I use white most of the time. The only time I use black is when I'm doing garments, dark colored garments. So on the inside, it's a little less noticeable. And someone else just said there's no audio problems on their end. So I would look at your info or your connectivity. All right. Let's see. So yeah, white and black both are good. I default to white and use black when I have dark colored garments. I do have a stock of black bobbins, one box, but I don't use black bobbins often at all. I think I've had that same box for like 5 years. On bobbins, do I prefer magnetic or regular? Well, right now with supply chain, the only ones I've found in a reasonable time frame have been magnetic. So I'm currently running all those, all my machines with the Filtech bobbins. Let's see, what else? Do I like one of the other? No, I like both. I personally use Coates Trousseau bobbins or the Filtech magnetic. Those are the only two I use. I love them. Let's see. Is it possible to set thread tensions to different threads? Yes. So let's see. Okay, right here, settings by color. If you turn that on, you can set all the settings. This is a screenshot, so I can't click on it for you. But under there, that's where you would go, and you could set for each thread that it goes to, what speed, what active feed. You can set it all under settings by color. So you would turn that on and you'd be good to go. You're running DesignShop V9 and don't have the shadow option, then you would be doing it manually to create the drop shadow. Is Melco still doing the Wednesday lives? I haven't talked to any of the guys in a while, so I have no idea. I'll find out for you. But I honestly don't know. I assume so, but I know there's a lot of trade shows going on right now, so that might be it, but I honestly don't know. I just know I'm here. All right. Prit, did that help you with this? So just click on settings by color, and that'll let you set the settings on each. Can you show us how to bring in your own font in DesignShop? Okay, so I'm trying to think where I have a TrueType font that's not already installed. Hang on, give me a second. Maybe. I'm gonna go find a font. Oh my gosh, I opened like 100 things. I'm sorry, one moment. Yeah. OTF. Let's see if I can find one quick. I don't like this font, but I'll show you. Okay, so this is a font, all right, and this is best done with DesignShop closed. It can be open, but you're going to have to close it and reopen it, so why not just close it first? All right, so you go get your TrueType font, your OTF, whatever font it is you want, double click on it. This is in Windows. All right, this has nothing to do with DesignShop. This is a Windows thing. So select it, click install. Yeehaw, that font is now installed. So now I can close it, open DesignShop. That was American Horror Story. I really don't like that font, but okay. It's the first one that popped up. So click on lettering. Oops, oh my gosh. AMER. There it is, my installed font. There you go. Poof. There it is. So all the computer fonts, if you will, that aren't pre-digitized for embroidery are under here under TrueType. Version 11 will let you use OTF fonts as well as TTF. The prior versions, you can only use fonts that are TTF, TrueType fonts. The OTF ones won't work. Okay, we did get you a link to adding and editing alphabets within DesignShop, so you have that there as well. But yeah, it's really pretty easy. Just, you know, find whatever font you want, double click on it, and type and go. Can you delete? Another question was typed in. Sorry, I'm scrolling questions. I missed one. How can you delete stitches on a purchase design off Etsy? Trying to merge two things that have overlapping stitches and I want to remove them. Okay, I'll say it's not a fun thing to do because you're dealing with expanded files, but let's do it. So there's an expanded file, and where's another one? What is that? I don't like any of these. I love that one. Okay. So I got two expanded files. All right. Clearly they're not colored, but we just want to, I want to show you to delete stitches. All right. So if you're looking at these, deleting stitches is possible. It's just annoying, honestly. So first, if I look at down here, all the grass stuff can be deleted. So all I'm going to do is draw a box around it and hit delete. Okay. So it's really, you're going to have to work your way through to the design and delete them. On the, like the outlines, let's say this guy, the blue outline, that one actually overlaps with the moth, right? So if I want to delete stitches from here, I'm going to have both of these on, go to my expanded stitch mode, find the outline, where is it? There it is. All right, now I have the right one selected. All right, so go to expanded stitch mode, and then you see all these stitches here? I gotta go delete them all, right? So that's annoying to do it by number or by one stitch at a time. So I like this guy right here, custom point selection. That lets me draw a circle around all the stitches I want to delete. So, oops, yeah, So let's say I want to delete all those. Hit enter, it'll select them, hit delete key. Now those stitches are gone. Same with like the red stuff here. So if I want to get rid of all these stitches that are under here, again, turn on the expanded editing mode, come over to the sky, custom point selection, and example, select them and hit delete. Okay. What else do we have? How about digitizing alphabets instead of having to insert every letter? Did we get you that resource? So that's done with the, I'm looking at the link they posted for you. Yep, there, it's on the link that they posted for you. All right, so this is the document that was posted in the links. It talks about all the different fonts, different resources and stuff. But if you look down here, you've got, oh, I just saw it, Alphabet Editor. All right, so that guy right there is how you create your own alphabets. Okay, so yeah, you can absolutely do that. Now, if you buy fonts off of, you know, where they save it as one letter, then the next, you're really going to have to insert them one at a time, or take the time to combine them into an alphabet editor. But keep in mind, if you do that, you really need to use them at the size they were digitized. Otherwise, not going to work. So, all right, what other questions are there? Sorry, let me quick go to the top and make sure I didn't miss anything else. Stabilizer, we did that. The chenille. Bobbins. The color, we did that. Did that. Cool. Yep, we got you that link. So it's this link right here. Okay. All right. So any other questions before we call it a day? I'll kind of hold on for a little bit to see if anything else is typed in. I don't know about y'all, everyone, we've got a crazy weekend here. We've got a regatta tomorrow, as well as soccer. And then on Sunday, soccer and an orchestra concert. So kids are keeping mommy jumping this weekend. So yeah, fun stuff. How to change overlap on an object with the cutting tool. Okay, so we did that. Let's do it again. All right. Ooh, stop it, stop it, stop it. All right, so how to change the overlap. I've got a shape 1, shape 2. All right, so select the two shapes. On the subtract tool, right click. So on your mouse, click the right click button, and then you type whatever you want your overlap to be here. So if I want 20, say 20. All right, don't use 20, that's silly, but now I have a large overlap. If I want less, again, select both of them, right click, say 10, click on subtract. Now I've got a smaller overlap, so on and so forth. So it's that simple. Right click, change the overlap. If you want it to have no overlap, make it 0. Okay. Any other questions? Trying to see if I got anything fun over here. No, nothing fun to show off by my desk. I don't understand the question. The knife tool overlap? Are you talking about the split? Are you talking about if I draw a split here, how to blur that outline? All right, so that would be, stop it, right click, properties, where is that? It's under advanced. It's blur overlap on, and Here, the overlap lines. Is that it? Sorry, it's been a while since I played with that. I know it's blur overlap is another option for fill patterns. I think that does it. Because the other one that I was thinking, if you go to properties, and let's say I change this to a pattern fill, bamboo, apply, okay. I can click on the pattern, right click, properties, and then right here is blur outline. So I can do it here as blur outline, and that will blur, that'll make the overlap stitch along there. So that's the blur outline I was thinking. But I think it's under that advanced. So I'll double check on that and get back to you. I believe, I gotta go play with it, that it's this guy right here, fill overlap lines. No, that's not. That's the overlap when it merges. I'll look for it. But if you can get to this screen here, it's right there. All right, let me get back to you on that one, Prit. Okay. All right, what other questions? All right, well, I don't see any others typed in quite yet. You guys have a fantastic weekend. I will be back next week. I'm aiming for Thursday, I think. So we'll try for next week and see what else we can answer. You guys have a wonderful weekend and have fun sewing. Prit, I'll see if we can get an answer typed in for you. All right? Thanks.